Are you close to having to take out the required minimum distributions from your IRA, also called RMDs? Here's a couple different strategies for you to consider for your financial plan. And today is not going to be a recommendation or a specific idea for you. This is purely educational and meant to arm and educate you and hopefully put you and your family in a better spot. So with that, let's go ahead and dive in. If you have an IRA and you funded it, so this is not about inherited IRAs. We have a different video on that. I'll put that link up here. There's a couple different rules around inherited IRAs. But today, if you funded that either through a 401k or traditional IRA contributions, and you're starting or you're close to or are already taking mandatory distributions, a couple ideas are, the first one is what's called a qualified charitable distribution, QCD. And this is best if you already give to charities, particularly if you're giving to charities and you're not getting a deduction for it. Now, that might have changed with that one big beautiful bill that was just passed in July 2025. But let's say you give $10,000 a year to charities and you have a $10,000 required minimum distribution. What you normally do is if you're writing a check to the charities and you're taking money out of your IRA, you're getting taxed and potentially you're not even getting a tax deduction for that gift. But if you use what's called a qualified charitable distribution, what you can do is you can just issue the check directly from the IRA to that charity or multiple charities. And when you do that, that counts as your mandatory distribution and it never shows up in your taxes. So it doesn't increase, it actually decreases your total taxable income. Particularly in retirement, there's a couple landmines that you want to avoid around Medicare and some other things. And so what this would do is this would lower your total taxable income by doing that gift directly from the IRA. Now, a couple things that to keep in mind. You can actually start doing those qualified charitable distributions at the age of 70 and a half. It was based on the old rules and they never really updated it, even though the mandatory distribution age started to increase now potentially up to 75 for some folks. So starting at 70 and a half, you can do these qualified charitable distributions up to $100,000 a year. So even if you have $10,000 mandatory distribution, you can give $15,000 or $12,000 to those charities, and again, never shows up on your taxes. And the beauty of that is when you were funding your traditional IRA or 401k, you got a tax deduction, it grew tax-free, and now that you're giving to the church or to the charities, that's completely tax-free as well. So it's triple tax-free benefit. So huge advantage for a lot of clients if they're able to send money directly from that IRA. A couple other things to keep in mind. One thing you cannot do is you cannot give that check from the IRA to a donor advised fund. And that will not count as a QCD. It has to be a public charity, operating charity. It cannot be a donor advised fund. However, there is another option. This is best if you're doing like a large gift, like $50,000 or $100,000. You can send that, let's say $100,000 from your IRA to what's called a designated fund. And that designated fund would basically use multiple years to distribute to the charities. So that's best if you want to give a very large sum, but maybe the charity you're supporting, maybe they can't handle $100,000 right up front. It might be a detriment to receive that. They may not know what to do with it. It may be more impactful to do that $100,000 to that designated fund, and then over the course of a couple of years, giving maybe $25,000 a year might be a bigger benefit to that charity having that consistent income. The second thing you can do with these mandatory distributions is essentially replace your estimated tax payments. So we have a different video here. We'll link here from our sister company, Petros Family Tax, about how the tax system works. But let's just say, for example, you do estimated tax payments of $2,500 per quarter. But, oh shoot, I forgot I was on vacation, or you just completely, disregarded it and didn't do those estimated payments. What you can do is you could do a 100% tax withholding of that mandatory distribution anytime during the year. So normally, let's say you do $2,500 quarterly payments to the IRS. If you do it evenly, that avoids the penalties and interest. But for a withholding, that counts for the whole year. So again, assuming $10,000 mandatory distribution, $10,000 tax bill, right there in December, you can invest it and try to grow that as much as you can. And then right in there in December, you do 100% withholding, where you distribute $10,000 from your IRA, and maybe a portion goes to the federal and then the other goes to state, and that counts for the whole year, eliminating potentially your underpayment penalties and interest if you didn't do it otherwise. Then the third one is very simple. It's if you don't need the funds, you can just go ahead and reinvest that into your individual account. And if you never started a brokerage account before and you, as if for the first time, being funded through those distributions, probably best to have those beneficiaries listed as well in that taxable account. So that's called a transfer on death, or TOD. So just be mindful of that, and you can reinvest it and until you find the right spot for it, either for yourself or for others. But hope you found that helpful to talk through the couple different strategies about what to do when you have those required minimum distributions. And if you did enjoy, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. Thanks so much.